Hey friends, it's Tracy. Welcome to my 2021 Christmas in July crafting series. I wanted to inspire you a bit, do the Christmas in July again. It was a hit last year. So this year is no different. It's complete with the cheesy twinkling lights and my flip-flop Santa. So grab a cold drink and let's get started. I'm using some of these things from the Dollar Tree, as well as some other places. I will kind of let you know where all of the supplies came from as I get to it. I'm going to start with this little Christmas box. Now, my son and my grandson had given me my gift in this box, and I said, oh, that is the cutest little snowman. And so instantly I said, I could transform him. So that's what I'm going to do. The base of what I am going to, adhere that to are these two signs from Halloween from the Dollar Tree. I liked the edge of them. They kind of look jagged, and I thought that would look really cute with some snow, faux snow on them for a wintry scene. Okay, the first thing I'm trying to do is get the staples out. They were pretty deep in there, and I've used a couple of different tools, but what helped the best was this upholstery tool. Now, a sweet viewer had shared this with me in a different video. It is linked in my Amazon shop if it's something that you're interested in checking out, but it helps get out those deep staples. I guess they use them in upholstery shops. Anyway, and so now what I'm doing, I'm just trying to figure out how I want my signs to butt up where they kind of, lay nicely together. And so then I have some paint sticks I just picked up at the hardware store like Lowe's, it was probably Lowe's. And so then I'm just cutting off about an inch because they're a tad too long, and if I'm just making this for myself, and so if I were to be giving this away or selling it, I would definitely cover up this back, but it doesn't matter to me since I'm keeping it for myself. Anyway, so I am just hot gluing the sticks to the back of the signs just for stability. Then to cover up like that seam where the signs are together, I just have some of this kind of like filler spackle from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going around and just putting it in between where that where the signs meet, and then also in the holes of the staple. And I should have wet my fingers already, because once I took a baby wipe and tried to clean up a little bit, I discovered that it actually goes on a little more smoother. So I didn't know, like once I painted the Crackle technique on it, I didn't know if it would, if the spackle were to adhere to, it and that kind of thing, which it did. It worked out just fine, but I didn't know at the moment. Now I'm just using some buttermilk Americana paint. It's just acrylic paint. I want that to be the bottom layer because that is what's going to show through the cracks, because I'm going to put my this color, then a Crackle medium layer, and then navy blue on top. And so this right here is what is going to show through the cracks. So I'm using some Crackle medium, and you can get this at the craft store, or I do have it linked in my Amazon store. And so I like to use the Crackle technique on a lot of my projects. And so I am just, just putting some here on the board, and then I just take my brush and just go over it. And it's, I kind of take my time with it. I make sure that all of the areas are covered. And one of the ways that I kind of can tell is if I kind of hold the sign up or whatever I'm doing, I kind of hold it up, and I can kind of see if there's like a spot that I miss. Okay, while my Crackle medium sign is drying, I completely let that dry completely. And so what I'm doing is I'm working on my snowman. And so I cut off like a bit of the excess of the box. And so then I'm going to start tearing it because, you can see like in the picture, I am going to distress the edges and it kind of looks to me like some wood. And so it all kind of ties the project together for me. So I'm just taking my time and I'm going around the edges of the snowman, and my where my left hand is, where my finger is, I am just holding that. I'm kind of positioning it there, and then I'm tearing along where I want my tear to be, because that is what helps me guide it, so that I don't tear too much into the actual snowman. And so I just go around and I just tear off as much of the, cardboard that I want. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to distress it with my favorite distress ink, which is a vintage photo, distress ink by Tim Holtz. I'm using my Posca pen in white, the PC3M, and I'm going to show you here. It kind of, just like a paint pen, it kind of came out a little extra on, on the hat, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. I'm just going with it. And so I use my heat tool to kind of set that up. I'll go back over, and doodle up everything with my black Sharpie marker and make everything really cute. I thought he had a really cute face already, so I didn't do anything extra to that. Yeah, just adding a little bit more character. For the winter blessings little sign for my decor, I'm using the bottom of the box and I'm just cutting away some of the excess that I don't need, and to give myself, some writing space. I'm using this Posca pen. It's a PC-5M, which is one of my favorites for little projects like this. And it's like a paint pen, so you have to shake it up and, make sure that you have the ink to come down. And so I'm just hand lettering winter blessings on it. And I'll do that by, just writing out the words and then doing my little happy dots on each end of the letters. It's just something that I like to do for myself. And then for the dot of each eye, I am going to do a snowflake. I'll do the same thing with my sign. I will cut off the excess of the box, and then I'm going to tear around the edges to give it the jagged or ragged edge, or the ripped edge. I want to, I find like tearing it towards myself or towards my body, that is what gives it the look that I want. If I would tear it the other way, it would give it a whole different look. So just, if you like this look, just, play around with it and see the different looks that you can get by tearing your paper different ways, so that, it gives you the look that you want. Just using that same ink in Vintage Photo, I'm just going around the sign with my finger dauber and just giving it some color. And then I'll also do the same thing with a Q-tip. I'll just use that, my ink, and go around the letters just for extra depth and dimension. Then I'm going to use my Posca pen, the PC-3M, and just highlighting the dots of the ends of the letters just for some highlight. now that my Crackle medium is all dry, it will be shiny, but there's no wetness to it. I'm using this blue paint. It is a Deep Midnight Blue by Americana. It's just an acrylic paint, and I work in sections because actually it starts to crack right before your eyes, and so I want to avoid taking my brush and going over it several times, so I try to get as much paint on my brush. I load my brush as much as possible, where I only have to do one downstroke, so that I don't go over it, because I don't know, it just doesn't give a really pretty effect. And once I show you how it all dries, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about, because if I go over it a little bit more, it does tend to not crack as nicely. So now my board is all dry, and you can kind of see it gives it a really, really nice crackle finish. And so then now I'm just going to attach my sign and my snowman, and I want him to be three-dimensional. And so I achieve that just with some little wooden blocks from the Dollar Tree, the Jenga blocks or tumbling tower blocks that you find in the kids toy section. And so I'm just hot gluing those to the back of my snowman. Then I'll glue those to the sign, or to my back sign, and then I'll also do the winter blessings as well. And then I couldn't decide if I wanted to use the burlap snowflakes or the white snowflakes, so I was just kind of, back and forth a little bit, trying to figure out which ones I wanted to use, because I wanted to use both of them. But since I did the distressing on the snowman and the sign, and this is rustic, I ended up using the burlap snowflakes from Hobby Lobby. I'm using these wintry branches. I picked these up at Walmart. They were in the, floral section, and they look icy branches. And so I'm just trying to figure out, how do I want to put them? So then I needed something to stick them into. So I pulled out my trusty Excelsior. It gives, a barrier, something for it to stick to, and also adds a bit of whimsy, which I do like. And so I'm just hot gluing that to the bottom of the snowman, and then will attach the icy looking branches to the bottom of the snowman. For his bow, I decided to make a bow for to put where his scarf is, and so to camouflage the redness of the scarf. So I have this 2.5-inch ribbon from Hobby Lobby. It's just a polka dot ribbon, and I'm just making a 2-loop bow, and I use my little tiny attacher stapler to hold it together in the middle. And at first I was going to use this one, this check one, but then I decided, no, I'm not going to use that. So I wrap that back up, put that to the side. I'm using some different trims, and so if you've watched my videos for a while, when I make my little messy bows, junk bows, refab bows, whatever you want to call them, my little bows like this, I like to use a different kind of trims and ribbons, because it just adds just some different texture to your bows. And so I have this these trims. I get my trims at Hobby Lobby, Walmart, anywhere like little trims like this are sold. And so I'll just continue to make my bow. I'm also using some muslin fabric. I don't know if I said that already, but I'm using some muslin fabric that I already had ripped, and just cutting that off in strips. I'll go back later and clean it up once I get my bow done. I'm just using a pipe cleaner to gather it all in the center, and then I will use my needle nose pliers to help get it really, really tight, because I want my bow to pop. And what I mean by that is, like, when I get it really, really tight, it kind of like shakes around and it like perks up those ribbons because that is the look that I'm going for. And by getting that pipe cleaner really, really tight, I can have that little pop of my bow. To attach my bow, I'm pulling out a bit more of the Excelsior, and then I'll hot glue that to the scarf that's on the snowman. And so the object is I want to kind of take away or camouflage that redness of the scarf. And then I just use my scissors to trim up any of the ribbon tails that don't lay right. Anyway, so then now I am going to use some all-purpose caulk from the Dollar Tree, and I want to give my snowman some faux snow, and so I'm just using some caulk and a stick, and I want to camouflage some of those or cover up some of those red berries that's on the snowman's hat from this particular snowman. And so I'm just taking some of those frosted branches and more of the caulk and just kind of, putting some of that in there so that it kind of covers up those red berries and stuff. And so then I'll just go around and I'll just add some more caulking just by just giving it, just some faux snow, just hitting the high areas. I kind of just play with it until I like the look of it and just continue to add some faux snow to my sign. Then to give it extra glisten, I add some Martha Stewart's fine glitter. And so if you don't like glitter, then don't do this part, but I like to use this fine glitter and then I go over my caulking just to give it a little of snow glistening. I do the same thing at the top. That's why I liked these signs from the Dollar Tree. They were Halloween signs, and I just liked the jagged edge. It kind of reminded me of, something that you would see like an old picket fence. And so I just take my caulking and just go around the top of my sign and just around the top of the winter blessings. Also, I am sprinkling on some glitter. I know the camera and the video does not pick up the glistening of the sign, but I love the way that this turned out. I decided just to have it set against like my little setup here. I'm not going to put a hanger on it. My first intention was I was going to put a hanger on it, but I just like it without a hanger, just in my little winter decor setup that I have here, and I hope that you love it too.